everybody, or shall I say hello, world. I am sitting here. We are going to do an after party PWBA Hall of Fame. I have two of the inductees right here. 20-time titleist Wendy McPherson, 27-time titleist Leanne Barrett Holzenberg, and we're going to get down to some nitty gritty.
Oh, geez.
So I was listening to the speeches tonight, and since I was actually present for some of these stories, I can say whether they are true or not. Wendy, first question to you. You mentioned mailing a check home, husband getting that check, depositing that check, buying a car. You never mentioned what kind of car he bought. So I'd like to know what kind of car that was and exactly how much did it cost?
My entire paycheck. And it was a family car, 4-door. And it was stupid. And I'm not going to answer that
What
question.
color was it?
It was gold.
Gold means first place, you know.
It was.
At least
but
he
it
picked
was
the
an
right
old
one.
person's car, and that was about 20 years ago, and he wasn't an old person then, so he didn't need that car.
Okay, all right. Well, shame on you, Nick, for not buying something sporty.
Cooler.
Or like the Yukon that you had
That's right.
towards the end of the tour, which was absolutely bad, you know what.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fully equipped, correct? That's what happens when you're Bowler of the Year like every year, right? Exactly.
Loaded.
Okay, so Leanne, you had mentioned you are from California, but then you moved to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Then you wound up back in California, and now you're in Utah. So I want you to tell us a little bit about where is your favorite place to live, and out of what state did you bowl your best?
Ooh, good one.
Good one.
I love Utah. I mean, I'm so happy we moved there. It's quiet, especially from California. Big difference. No traffic, lower cost of living, 20 minutes to work every day. You know, easy, simple life. Gary and I joke when there's like 5 people at the stoplight, like, what's all the traffic today? Best state I guess Oklahoma, because I started from Oklahoma and I started good. I don't know. I'd have to like count the titles.
Well, you were
Split 'em
successful
up,
in
right?
so many. You were successful in so
'em
many
up.
states, so we can't probably pinpoint it to one. So the other thing that we did here tonight was there's a lot of stories. Now, you did not elaborate in your speeches,
They were all
either one of you.
G-rated.
Okay, and we have already come to the conclusion that we are glad there were no cell phones, that we could
Yes.
take pictures. There was no Facebook. Thank God there was no Instagram.
Yep.
Okay, but we're putting you on the spot. The world is watching. Again, I know some of these stories. So we will start with you, Wendy. I would like one behind-the-scenes story. We understand that maybe some of it needs to be beeped out, but I'd like to know, tell everybody maybe about a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania incident, or driving from Reno to
She was involved. You're involved in both of those. I'm not even
just
going
pick
there.
one. Pick
okay,
one of your
it's one of my
stories.
best stories ever.
Okay.
But it didn't even involve my inner circle and my roommate or roommates. It involved a phenomenal first woman ever to $1 million, left-hander Alita Silk.
Oh, yes.
And her bowling balls in the bar in
Oh,
Mississippi, I believe it was.
Ocean Spring, Mississippi.
Spring,
Oh, yes.
Mississippi.
Ugh.
Where we used to do shots in the bar out of the weight hole in her bowling ball.
Correct.
Say
One that she won with.
One that she won with.
She had to pick a ball, if I remember, that she won
And
with.
we'd fill it up and do shots right out of her weight hole in the bowling ball.
Yes, and by the way, no one
It
drove.
was a community.
It was a community.
shot.
Yes, we all took care of each other. That's a good one, Wendy.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so Leanne, same thing. Name one of the most memorable parties you attended while we were out on tour. Now, there were some retirement parties. I
Maybe
mean,
you
this
shot
is not all
300
bad.
in that party?
What?
Maybe you shot
Shot
300
300 in
at
that
the
party?
with
That,
that?
well, I was the scorekeeper. I was not. I was not drinking anything at that party.
Oopsie.
But I
Oopsie.
was keeping score of people's shots with sugar packets.
Yes,
Like-
the sugar packets. Very
But
good. Okay.
the innocent party was Kim Terrell, myself, probably you, probably Kathy, probably Tammy, Albuquerque.
Oh.
We karaoke'd till like 4 a.m.
Yes,
and
we
we
did.
were not drinking.
No, we just had fun.
Yeah,
just
we-
had
I
fun.
mean,
We
it
had
was-
nowhere to go.
but
We had nowhere to go.
Back then, every Wednesday night was kind of a party at
That's
our
right.
tournaments because the tournament was over on Wednesday nights. Only 5
That's
people
correct.
made the show, so the rest of us who didn't make the show, we kind of hung out, enjoyed our night. We had maybe one drink or
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
Had a little food at the bowl, told stories. What about when Amory should be here. Remember how we used to do impersonations of each other, like all the funny
Now
stuff.
that we
Anne-Marie's
did do.
good at that.
That
but
is
she's not
correct.
here, so.
One of the things that we used to do is there were a lot of unique styles when we bowled out on tour.
Correct.
And we did. We used to do some impersonations, some deep knee bends out there, a little bit of the
Yes.
follow
Yep.
through.
You were good
the
at
hairs.
impersonating
I was
people.
Yep.
a good impersonator.
Yep.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about the fun that we used to have. So let's get back to the serious part just for a minute. What would be one of your most memorable moments in your career? You've had many, but what would be one of the most memorable?
Memorable. I'm going to say it's unbowling related. It's bowling every fall in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And to me, the tour meant the fall tour. And the fall tour meant the trees were changing.
I love the fall
That's
tour.
The
just
fall
the best.
tour
It
was the best.
Baltimore,
Yes, it
Delaware,
was.
Pittsburgh, Chicago, Rockford. It was,
then-
and we
Yes.
all drove the Pennsylvania Turnpike and stuff.
Yep,
I
and
loved
that
it.
was- That to me represented tour.
I loved
Yeah.
the fall
The
tour.
fall
Ending
tour.
in Las Vegas at Samstown with the major tournament.
Yep.
That was by far
And the bar at Princess Lanes where we would
beautiful center.
view trees or leaves falling. It would be raining, and we would be eating homemade soup.
So,
And all the homes in that, because the bowling center was in a neighborhood.
yes.
And all the homes had the Halloween decorations, and it was so pretty. But boy, did we get lost driving around that city!
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Very difficult city.
so
Yeah,
hard to
it
get
was-
around.
That is bowling to me. That is our tour.
Well, it was
Is
funny that you
the-
said that was because Rockford, I remember the pumpkin patch. There was a pumpkin
Yep,
patch
yep.
by on the way to Cherry Bowl, I
Yep.
believe it was, that we were able to stop by. So, Leanne, you've agreed with Pittsburgh being one of our favorite stops, and it's funny when the new tour came about and they were asking about some of the favorite cities. I mentioned Rockford and Pittsburgh because just that time of year was
Well, we
phenomenal.
went to Rockford every year because it was the home of the LPBT and the PWBA, so that was always like going home and just the fans and stuff like that. But Pittsburgh was great. Baltimore, Dennis Baldwin's place a long time ago, that was great. I was trying to think of some hosts that we
And
had.
a lot of the cities, not only the beauty of the fall, but you're talking about cities of huge support.
Yes.
Pro-ams,
Local
2 and 3
Pro-ams.
pro-ams we used to
Two
bowl.
and three pro-ams. I mean, this was the city involvement of our tour coming there every year.
Right.
And it
Do you
was
remember
great.
getting the newspaper after you win a tournament and you'd be like in the
Right, the-
sports and you'd
yes,
get that
on the
and you'd take it
front
home or
page.
you cut it out and send it home and everything?
Yeah, it was great. You remember we had newspapers and we had to cut them out and
Yep,
send
yep,
them home,
yep.
which was key there.
No,
the other part,
no internet.
no, but and here before we go on to the actual Hall of Fame induction, but the week that we had. I mean, you mentioned pro-ams. Sometimes our pro-ams started on Saturday, and you bowled 2 or 3 pro-ams on Saturday. Then you bowled practice on Sunday morning. So
Yep.
let's talk a little bit about our format.
Yep.
Then you bowled more pro-ams on Sunday. The tournament started Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? TV show was Thursday. We were leaving either Thursday night after the TV show or Friday.
Morning, driving
and then
1,000 miles.
Yep.
and sometimes
Lots of
the
driving.
800, you're right. And then the next, it would start all over
Do it
again.
all over again. Same
And
thing every week.
Exactly. And we talked a little bit tonight, so elaborate about how we felt it was more of a community, a family. You know, hey, what time are you leaving? What route are you taking? Text us, remember?
Safety, yeah.
Call us, you
Yep.
know, let us know how the roads are. You know, unique things like that.
I think it was more of a family because there was more communication. Again, you say Texas, Carolyn, that was pre-text days.
No, didn't we have the little, we had to do it 5
Pagers.
times.
Pagers.
Pagers, that's what we had,
Okay.
pagers, yep. 5 times you had to hit
But
the
you
number.
say more of a family because I think people overall in general spoke more years and years ago than friends even spoke more years
Yep.
ago than they
Right.
do now.
Yep.
But you know, we would. And it was a whole community that left on the road for 8, 9 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. You left together with these people, and you all work together.
Right, all the
Not
time.
flying
One of my
home,
favorite
coming
was
back.
September 25th. So is it September 23rd or September 25th? Anne-Marie and Kim's birthday.
Oh,
Where we always had the
yes.
birthday dinner.
We always
for
had a birthday dinner,
September 23rd.
Yes, that is correct.
Can't even remember
And
her
we did.
birthday.
We'd get a group of us
Yep,
together. It was
all
the
of us.
same
It'd be
thing
like
all
10,
the time.
12 people. We always had birthday dinners, and then we had like bridal showers and birthdays, and we had a lot of fun out there.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, we
wow.
did.
Yeah.
Now, you both are also members of the USBC Hall of Fame. So now the PWBA is basically the pinnacle of your career. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you. I mean, you both said in your speech, you know, I always dreamed of this, or this is what I wanted to do. Now that you've actually given your speech and the night is coming to a close, sum it up for us.
It's a little sad. Again, I keep referring back to sad because it's not that way anymore. And it is the end. And being a bit fortunate to have been in some great Hall of Fames, and there are no more Hall of Fames. I won't have another chance to do a speech.
Celebrate.
I won't have another chance to do a celebration. And, you know, it's kind of like final. It's like, hey, old bat, you
No.
congrats, and get out and make room for. I'm just saying.
No.
I look forward to the future. I look forward to coming and enjoying all the new inductees.
Listening to their stories.
Yes. And I'd be interested to see when the generation has the stories change.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what will they change
There's still
to?
some from our
Right.
generation that are going to go in.
Yes.
Like this
But-
one over here.
Correct.
Wait for your story.
Maybe, maybe I'll tell some stories.
I think
No,
it is a
I-
little sad. There's always going to be a little sadness for us because our tour ended. We didn't choose to end, so it ended
Right.
on us. And so always the sadness, but if any of us are all together, there's no sadness. There's so much
No.
fun and happy times and the memories.
Correct.
What you remember jars this memory and jars that memory. And
Right.
so I thought it was great tonight to see so many of the PWBA members
I
here,
agree.
the young girls. I thought it was
Absolutely.
great that they all, probably 75%, maybe not the A squatters because they have to go in the morning, but they were a lot of them here, which
I agree.
It says a lot for maybe their future and stuff. So that was impressive. I thought the PWBA did a great job putting this together.
Yes.
I was
Absolutely.
very
And,
grateful.
and it was nice to see a lot of our past Hall of Famers here who
Yep.
may not see each
Credibility.
other
Yep.
as often anymore, right? So it's a great time to get together and again, talk about different things. So I know we're trying to stay positive. It's a happy night, but if there was, is there one regret that you have? Now, what I mean by that is maybe it's a title you didn't win, or maybe it was missing something, or something you wish you had now that you didn't. I mean, is there one regret?
No, because I don't live my life with regrets.
There you go. That's a great answer. I love it.
If whoever in my life is gone tomorrow, friends, family, I have no regrets because everything is said and done today.
And you had that time.
I'm peace.
You had that time.
I'm at peace.
Okay.
I
Leanne?
don't really have any regrets, for my career, what I did. I know that I gave 100%, and that was my, like I sacrificed the rest of my life to bowl. So I didn't have anything, and all I had was bowling, but that was my choice. I wish that I would have kept a diary, just a little more specific of the memories that we had. And maybe a couple 10 pins that I missed. But maybe mostly just keeping better stories,
Yeah.
All right,
documenting
that's-
things. I mean,
yeah.
the girls now, they have Facebook and all that stuff to keep memories alive, but it takes a lot for us all to get back together to remember.
Remember.
Oh yeah,
Exactly. Remember
and
that
we all
happened?
remember a certain
Right.
piece. So I would have liked to have had a little book.
Well, now you touched base on missing 10 pins, and I know you're joking, but okay, here's a question to you. What made you the champion that you are? If you could say a few words that say this is why I was successful, what would that be? What would you tell everybody? This is what made me successful. It's great advice.
Sacrifice. I didn't have anything else. My total 100% focus was my career. And I didn't have a personal life. I sacrificed family outings, we
Right.
sacrificed a lot to come out on tour and all that. So Total dedication, 100%, nothing else.
Okay. Wendy?
And I'd have to say patience. You know, I think that has always been one of my great. Carol always says there's 48 hours in my 24, and I'm never in a hurry for anything, and laid back and easygoing and patient. And I think you have to be patient.
Yeah, you put in the work and it'll come.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe not as quickly as you want it to, and patience is a great thing to have.
Yeah.
It's hard to have.
It's hard to have.
Well, it's hard to have because at
Yeah.
times when you're in the battle, remember you,
Yeah.
you said, I mean, in the battle you're still friends, but in the battle it's hard sometimes to put things in perspective.
Yeah.
Afterwards it's so easy to look and process everything.
Absolutely.
And
You
you
see
and
everything
you
you
see
did
everything.
wrong.
You actually
I
see
missed the
things
move.
more clearly. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. How did I not see that, or how did I not do that? Which is rather cool.
Yeah.
Because that goes back to patience and the fact of you had patience enough to really process it and know that the next time you're probably not going to make that mistake.
Exactly right.
So here's another funny though. I remember because I was on the same staff as Leanne for many years out on tour, and I remember when we would have practice session, and I'd always come up to Leanne and I always,
I know what you're going to say.
she's like, when you're ready. So I'd always come up to Leanne and I'd say, Leanne, where were you playing and what did you like today? And
Yep.
then,
And then you'd
and
say,
Leanne would
Why are you trying to line up?
no,
off
no,
of
no,
me?
no. And then I would tell her, and she'd go, "Good, okay, I can take that
mine
off
is
my list."
opposite.
Because hers was always the opposite of what I was doing.
She was
So she's
using
like,
high
"All
end
right."
balls. I was using low end balls. She was using low end balls. I was using the high end, and we would bowl well, right? And we'd
yeah.
be like, all right.
We
We're
never,
good.
we
That's
could never
great.
help each other.
It was no.
We'd
never.
like to, but we could never.
Yeah, but I
finally
went,
we
huh?
figured out a way to
Did
do
you
it though.
ever
To the
ask
opposite.
her and do her opposite?
We
the
chatted
opposite
a
of
lot.
her?
Yeah,
It was
we
funny
talked a
how
lot,
we do that,
actually,
but
yeah.
we never
It
really
was
liked
nice.
the same things,
Yeah.
which was funny. So.
And then even though we weren't on the same staff, it's not as if we didn't stand behind your pair.
Absolutely.
And go,
Everyone's
Wendy's got a
food.
hook at 8.
I don't know how I did it sometimes. I don't know how I carried a bowling bag, let alone 50 of them, right?
Well, all right. So now you're in both Hall of Fames. Okay. What does the future hold for you? Is there anything in your future, I should say? You said you don't bowl as much competitively, but do you think that you may kick out a senior queens?
Absolutely.
If I have my way,
What do you
she's
think?
bowling senior queens next year.
Okay.
Absolutely,
I'm just
I
going to keep
think.
bugging her.
Okay.
You have to understand, I love working in the bowling industry as much as I loved bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a hard time transferring or giving up any of this time to do part of this. And maybe that was always good because I had a hard time giving up this, anything.
Right. To have the other.
anything
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Right.
Or life, or whatever it
Yep.
may be. So maybe it was a good attribute that I had, that I was always 100% or not. Anyways, I love working. I love my job. I love being part of the bowling industry on the other side.
Right.
But I want to win though, and I can't win unless I put some time in.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think you can win, but okay.
If I put
okay.
some time in.
Okay. If you put some time in.
If you would have watched
Yeah.
me,
No,
the other
you,
day,
you look just fine.
You would have gone, Wendy, just put a little
No,
more
no.
practice time.
You're fine. Leanne, you're competing this week in the Queens, as you should be.
Yeah.
And what else will be next for you in the competitive field?
I'm going to stick to what I was used to. I'm going to bowl the Queens. I'm going to bowl the U.S. Open. These two tournaments haven't changed. I feel the Queens is still something I could win. Things have to kind of go your way. There's, like you can bowl really good and lose. You can bowl,
Right.
matches have to go a certain
Right.
way. And I'm good with that. I love the U.S.
Yeah.
Open, so I'll bowl that. And I think that's plenty for me now.
Wait, hold
Okay.
on. I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, senior masters, right?
I was
You are
going to
going
do
to.
some senior men. We just have a lot of Caroline's bowling senior masters. so-
Senior masters or senior
Yeah.
U.S. Open?
Senior Masters.
Oh.
Yeah. So get practicing. It's right in your backyard. Get practicing.
Get our room ready.
So-
We're staying at your house.
So you heard it here first. You heard it here first. I am going to make them come bowl the Senior Masters
No,
in June.
not this year.
Okay, maybe next year.
Next year. Maybe.
Leanne definitely can because she's already been bowling.
Yep.
So we'll give you a pass.
Okay.
We'll give you a pass.
I'll work on it and get it back.
We're gonna pull you back in when.
We're gonna see. This is the thing about bowling. It just lets you back in. I mean, you think you're gonna kind of
You're
head on
never-
out.
you're never
and then
not
all of
gonna be a
You know what it
bowler.
is though? It's the competitive nature,
Yep.
right or wrong.
Once a competitor,
Once-
always a competitor.
Always.
Once
and
it's
in
once
there.
you've had success,
You can't help but want
you
more.
can't help
Yep.
but want more. And yet, even though what you want may be different now because of age or the amount of tournaments or the
Yep.
amount of practice, it's still you want something and just to be a part of
Yep.
it. So that's, okay. So as we're ending here, right? I don't know, are we ending here? We are? Oh, okay. All right, you ready?
Ready.
What would Wendy McPherson tell the younger Wendy McPherson based on what you know now? If you need a moment to think that, I have somebody else over to my right.
What would Wendy McPherson tell the younger Wendy McPherson?
Yes.
Rock it. You only get one chance. Work as hard as you can. Don't let an opportunity ever go by. Make great choices in your friends, who you hang around, who influences your thought process. Just make sure you have the most positive environment out here as you can be. There was a lot that didn't get success simply because of who they hung around.
Right. Excellent. Leanne, what would you tell younger Leanne now?
I think I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit with this thought, but I'm gonna say, live a little.
Live a little?
Because you guys know me.
Yeah.
I
We
was
got a
kinda
lot of
boring,
living to do
right?
yet, though, so
I
we can
know,
make
maybe I
up
can
for
do it
it.
now.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
That'll be good.
Absolutely. No worries.
Okay.
No worries one bit.
You got it.
That's what you would
Live a
say.
little.
Live a little. I like
You guys
it.
know me. I was pretty boring.
No, you weren't boring.
Live a
No.
little.
Live a little. I like it. Okay, so you heard it here from two awesome Hall of Famers, both in the USBC Hall of Fame and the PWBA Hall of Fame. I am extremely honored and humble to be able to call them both my friends, and they are rock solid. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.